Chapter 23. When I married Kevin, I meant it with all my heart. If you look into my eyes in my wedding photos, you can see it. I was so in love and so ready for a new phase of my life to start. I wanted babies with this man. I wanted a cozy home. I wanted to grow old with him. My lawyer told me that if I didn't file for divorce, Kevin would. What I gathered from this was that Kevin wanted to file for divorce, but he felt guilty doing it. He knew that it would make him look better publicly if I was the one who filed. My lawyer told me that Kevin was going to file for divorce no matter what. I was led to believe that it would be better if I did it first so that I wasn't humiliated. I didn't want to be embarrassed. So in early November 2006, when Jaden was almost 2 months old, I filed the papers. Kevin and I both asked for full custody of the boys. What I did not understand was that Kevin would then insist I pay for his legal bills. And because legally I had set the divorce in motion, I would be held responsible in the press for having broken up my young family. The media attention was crazy. It was probably good for Kevin's album, which came out a week before we announced our divorce, but I was vilified. Some people tried to be supportive, but in the press, they often did this by being cruel towards Kevin, which actually wasn't that helpful. As part of his bid for full custody, Kevin tried to convince everyone that I was completely out of control. He started to say I shouldn't have my kids anymore. At all. When he said that, I remember thinking in my head, surely this is a joke. This is just for the tabloids. When you read about married celebrities fighting, you never really know what's real. I always assume that a lot of what you hear are stories being fed to the papers as part of some ploy to get the upper hand in a custody battle. So I kept waiting for him to bring the boys back to me after he took them. He not only wouldn't bring them back to me, he wouldn't let me see them for weeks on end. In February, after not getting to see the boys for weeks and weeks, completely beside myself with grief, I went to plead to see them. Kevin wouldn't let me in. I begged him. Jaden James was 5 months old, and Sean Preston was 17 months old. I imagine their not knowing where their mother was, wondering why she didn't want to be with them. I wanted to get a battering ram to get to them. I didn't know what to do. The paparazzi watched it all happen. I can't describe the humiliation I felt. I was cornered. I was out being chased, like always, by these men waiting for me to do something they could photograph. And so that night I gave them some material. I went into a hair salon and I took the clippers and I shaved off all my hair. Everyone thought it was hilarious. Look at how crazy she is. Even my parents acted embarrassed by me. But nobody seemed to understand that I was simply out of my mind with grief. My children had been taken away from me. With my head shaved, everyone was scared of me, even my mom. No one would talk to me anymore because I was too ugly. My long hair was a big part of what people liked. I knew that. I knew a lot of guys thought long hair was hot. Shaving my head was a way of saying to the world, fuck you. You want me to be pretty for you? Fuck you. You want me to be good for you? Fuck you. You want me to be your dream girl? Fuck you. I'd been the good girl for years. I'd smiled politely while TV show hosts leered at my breasts, while American parents said I was destroying their children by wearing a crop top, While executives patted my hand condescendingly and second-guessed my career choices even though I'd sold millions of records while my family acted like I was evil. And I was tired of it. At the end of the day, I didn't care. All I wanted to do was see my boys. It made me sick thinking about the hours, the days, the weeks I missed with them. My most special moments in life were taking naps with my children. That's the closest I've ever felt to God. Taking naps with my precious babies, smelling their hair, holding their tiny hands.